Join us at the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino with the #1 gaming experience and entertainment. The Pahrump Nugget has the #1 dining experience at Stockman Steakhouse, Golden Harvest Cafe, and the Gold Miners Buffet. Come get your game on at the Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
News 46 is brought to you by Comfort Hospice Care, where we give our patients and their loved ones peace of mind, knowing we provide the highest quality of care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For more information, call 775-751-0349. News is also brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444.
Tonight on News 46, a jail inmate is transported to UMC Trauma Center.
3 people are arrested for drug-related crimes.
And the Valley Cruisers hold their show and shine. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Glenn Evers and Monique Mitchell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, April 24th, 2013. I'm Glenn Evers.
And I'm Monique Mitchell for News 46.
An 81-year-old inmate at the Nye County Detention Center fell from the second tier inside the jail this morning. Police are investigating if it was an incident or an accident or an attempt to take his own life after being charged with sexual assault.
Around 9:30 this morning, Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were dispatched here to Surrey Lane at the Nye County Detention Center for an 81-year-old inmate who apparently fell from the second tier inside the facility.
The inmate who either fell or deliberately leaped from the second floor of the detention center is 81-year-old Arthur Gatsky. Gatsky was arrested on April 9th for sexually assaulting a vulnerable person along with 69-year-old Michael Mack and 65-year-old George Caroja. Gatsky was being held in the amount of $60,000 bail. According to Sheriff Tony DeMeo, the Nye County Sheriff's Office was informed that an inmate was lying on the floor bleeding from his head. The jail emergency response plan was put in place and medical crews were called to the scene. The inmate was transported to Desert View Hospital and later transported to a hospital in Las Vegas. The initial investigation revealed that the inmate rolled over a stairway railing and fell to the floor. The investigation is ongoing at this time. According to Fire Chief Scott Lewis, Mercy Air was unavailable at the time of the incident. Arthur Gatsky was the only inmate at the cell when the incident occurred. No others are suspected to be involved in the incident. News 46 asked Sheriff Tony DeMeo if Gatsky had been showing signs of depression in recent days. DeMeo stated that he could not comment on this ongoing investigation.
Once again, Sheriff Tony DeMeo has said that this is still under investigation. He says that the inmate seems to have rolled from the stairwell of the facility. He was the only one actually in that cell. It is unclear right now if Arthur Gatsky actually did it on purpose or if this was in fact an accident. His condition is unknown at this time. This is Deanna O'Donnell at the Nye County Detention Center for News 46.
3 more people have been taken into custody following a police chase that has a total of 9 associated persons arrested for drug-related offenses.
In trouble with the law? Call Abracadabra Bail Bonds, and they'll have you out in a...
3 more people have been arrested on drug-related charges. 6 people were arrested on April 22nd in 2 cases. The first arrest was a result of the Nye County Sheriff's Office investigators looking for a 25-year-old by the name of Robert Tabor who took police on a car chase last week. On Tuesday, detectives with the Nye County Sheriff's Office were continuing their search for Tabor when they came across a person by the name of Tina Banks, who is 47 years old, Summer Tillery, who is 27, and Christopher Prine, who is 30. It was determined that all 3 were under the influence of a controlled substance, specifically methamphetamine. They were all arrested and booked into the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. Robert Tabor is still at large, and anyone with information about Tabor's whereabouts is asked to contact the Nye County Sheriff's Office at 751-7000. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Joseph Anderson has been sentenced to a maximum of 20 years in prison for causing a fatal 3-vehicle accident on Highway 160 and Mesquite in 2011 while driving under the influence of marijuana.
Anderson appeared in district court this week to be sentenced on a charge of driving under the influence of a controlled substance, thereby causing death to another, after he was found to be at fault for a collision which took the life of 53-year-old Lonnie Scott right before the annual Fall Festival parade was to begin in 2011. Scott and his wife were on their way to the parade when the accident occurred. Nevada Highway Patrol stated that Anderson was found to have been under the influence of marijuana on October 1st of 2011 when he failed to yield at the stop sign. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
We'll learn about varicose veins, commonly known as spider veins, after the break.
Can doing this lead to these? Find out next in Prescription Health.
News 46 is brought to you by Team Ford Lincoln, the #1 new volume Ford sales leader in Nevada for 5 years running. Team Ford Lincoln, US 95 and Ann Road. TeamFord.com.
Welcome back to News 46. Well, swimsuit season is almost here, and while many of us love it, others hate it because of varicose veins. But how much do we really know about varicose veins? Andrew McIntosh helps us separate fact from fiction about the condition.
This health tip is brought to you by Humana.
Visit our local office in the Pahrump Valley Junction Shopping Center or call 775-727-0871.
Scared you might get these? Varicose veins develop when blood pools in faulty leg valves. They can be painful or just plain unsightly. Dr. Eric Peden says about 25% of women get them. But guys don't have to worry, right? Wrong. The doctor tells us 1 out of every 10 men gets them too.
So not just a disease of women, but clearly more prevalent in women.
Some believe crossing your legs compresses veins and can lead to the condition. Not true. How you sit will not cause them. How long you sit or stand, that could be an issue.
People that have problems where they have to stand for long periods of time or sit for long periods of time tend to have less activity, less of the blood pumping back up, and tend to be more likely to get problems with varicose veins.
The doctor says staying active can help prevent varicose veins.
But it turns out that obesity, smoking, drinking are not directly related to varicose veins.
So what's the most common cause?
I knew it was hereditary because my mother had the same problem.
That's right. The greatest risk for varicose veins is your family history.
So if your mother had them, then she's kind of passing those on.
Vein stripping used to be the standard treatment.
There basically was an incision made up at the groin, an incision made down at the ankle, and then the whole vein was removed from the body. That was the stripping part.
But now Dr. Peden says outpatient catheter procedures like this are resulting in less post-op pain and bruising. Some patients have seen their varicose veins go from this to this. And a new Henry Ford Hospital study found the procedures cost thousands less than vein stripping, helping you understand what's under your skin. I'm Andrew McIntosh reporting.
Dr. Peden says one of the biggest mistakes people make is putting off treatment for varicose veins because of the cost. He tells us many believe it's just a cosmetic procedure. The truth is, varicose veins are seen as a medical condition and treatments are commonly covered by insurance.
An 8-story building collapsed this morning on the outskirts of the Bangladesh capital, killing at least 123 people and injuring hundreds. Broken concrete and twisted metal stuck out from the massive pile of rubble where rescuers dug by hand to reach trapped workers. The search is continuing and is unclear how many people are trapped in the ruins.
The Justice Department has formally filed its case against and his company, Tailwind Sports, for millions of dollars that the U.S. Postal Service spent to sponsor the cycling team of Lance Armstrong. The United States Post Office paid approximately $40 million to sponsor the United States Post Office's cycling team from 1998 until 2004. The government said it was intervening to recover triple the amount of the sponsored funds under the False Claims Act, which could bring a total of more than $100 million in damages. The complaint filed in U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia charges that the use of prohibited drugs constitutes a breach of contract with the Postal Service.
Well, here's Deanna O'Donnell with your entertainment this week.
Police have charged the bassist of the rock band Three Doors Down with vehicular homicide after they said his speeding car clipped a pickup truck, sending it down an embankment and killing the driver. The incident took place Friday night in Nashville. Police said 41-year-old Robert Todd Harrell showed signs of impairment and acknowledged he had consumed hard cider and had taken the prescription pills Lortab and Xanax. During a search in the detention center's booking room, authorities says Davidson County Sheriff's deputies discovered a plastic bag concealed in his sock that contained 8 Xanax pills, 24 oxycodone pills, and 4 oxymorphine pills. Harrell also has been charged with bringing controlled substances into the jail. He was being held in lieu of $100,000 bond. Harrell has since been released from custody and has checked himself into a drug treatment facility. Police said the driver of the pickup truck was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from his truck. Three Doors Down may be best known for its song Kryptonite, but had a string of hits in the early 2000s, including When I'm Gone and Here Without You. Harrell is one of the 3 founding members of the group that formed in Mississippi. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had to have an emergency hernia surgery on Monday, causing him to miss out on the Los Angeles premiere of his new movie, Pain and Gain. The day before, the star explained that he paid a visit to his doctor, who had to push his intestines back through a tear in his abdomen. The Rock appears to be recovering well after the operation. Australian rocker Chrissy Amphlett, the Divinyls lead singer, whose group scored an international hit with the sexually charged I Touch Myself in the early 1990s, died Sunday after a battle with breast cancer and multiple sclerosis. She was 53 years old. The drummer of her band said hers was a life of passion and creativity. She always lived it to the fullest. With her force and character and vocal strength, she paved the way for strong, sexy, outspoken women. In 1991, the Divinyls' I Touch Myself reached #1 in Australia and #4 in the United States, Billboard's Hot 100 chart. The group, which formed in Australia in the early 1980s, was inducted into the Australian Recording Industries Association's Hall of Fame in 2006. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. That's your entertainment this week.
Well, stay right here. We'll have more local news right after these messages.